Our peace has been accepted, and the River Lords have bent the knee. There you go. Peace accept. Everything north of the Trident is lost. Green Fork might be saved by Aaron. I move half my forces south to defend and leave the other half Acorn Hall. Once we've established military access, I wait your command. Yeah. Okay, so we've quickly pushed forward. Abandoned Harrow Hall for now. We're obviously building some troops there just in case. We're leaving these guys behind to defend these regions here. And Stormguard, just in case I renamed Stokesworth into Stormguard, by the way. But yeah, we've pushed forward in an attempt to hold all of this. The Storm King there, and the rest of my forces around here. What we're meant to do, I mean, we've now got the forces of the Muds with us, which gains us 1 and 2 stacks, I believe. The other stack is around here somewhere. But yeah, we've gained 2 new forces, armies to fight against the Lannisters, which gives us a great advantage. A much better solution than pointlessly fighting each other, I think. It gains us a large advantage against the already very seriously overpowered Lannister faction, which now controls basically all of the fucking Riverlands. Great, that is. But yeah, we have the Muds on our sides, or should I say the Tullys on our side. Hopefully, all is looking well. All is looking well. Well, fuck me. That pretty much sums up this turn in a fucking nutshell, doesn't it? Fuck me. Well, great. This sucks. Fucking sucks is what this is. Okay. Yeah. You know the fucking forts that I had, right? Well, the Lannister spent like 20k gold or some ridiculous amount on bribing one of my generals. One of the forts which had a general in it. Usually, you put a general in a fortification with relative, like, 5 loyalty or so, and you're quite secure in your knowledge that someone would have to spend an exorbitant amount of cash in order to bribe that general. Surely it's not worth it. This is Myth we're talking about. Myth the Conqueror. Myth the Unhonorable. Myth the fucking Destroyer. No! No, I say! Son of a bitch! He's trapped my king in a little box of death and wiped out one of the mud stacks that we got our hands on. Fuck me. Okay, in this situation, we could do 1 or 2 things. We could pull back to Hammer Hall. I renamed it Hammer Hall, by the way, in honor of the late Mud King, who was the Hammer of Justice, so Hammer Hall fit, I guess. Although I think Hammer Hall's a region in the river, in the Reach. Sorry, already. I'm not sure about that, but oh well, fuck him. Yeah, we could either do 1 or 2 things. We could pull back to Hammer Hall and just fort up the shit there. It would be easier and safer to hold against his forces. Or we could do what I've decided to do because I'm incredibly stubborn and I want to save my king. As you can see, going by the fortifications here, there are 2 points of access that I can get into the zone of control of this fort. Assuming that he lays siege to my king, who at the moment cannot escape without a diplomat, and I don't have a diplomat to bribe any of his forts. Not that I could, because they have a lot of stuff. There's the fucking traitor, this twat. Davos Darklin, I will have your head eventually, boy. All of this, betrayed his king, and this is what happened. But anyway, if we hold this line here, like I've done, we have 2 points of zone of control entry. I can put a stack here, and I can put a stack here. And then when I sally out, it will have, if you see, it's got 1, 2, and then the square route around it where the zone of control will be. So I'll be able to sally out with 3 stacks in that fort. And he can't place any forts in between this line here. It's technically impossible. Basically, what we've got ourselves into is a rather boring game of chess. And it's just a matter of who slips up first. This is going to be quite a few boring turns, I imagine. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this. This is not going to be too fun. We do have the princesses, which gives us a slight advantage, meaning that we can bribe certain generals of his, and we still do have the Mud General King giant stack of troops. We still do have one of those. I might give Hammer Hall to the River Lords so that they have a place to... I will, actually, come to think of it. I will absolutely 100% give Hammer Hall to the Muds so that they continue to live and we continue to have that 1 stack. Because Acorn Hall's the only region that they hold, so if I let Lannister take that without giving Mud any other regions, then the Mud stack would disappear and turn rebel, and it would be of no use to me. I might actually contact the admin and ask if I can take direct control of the Tullys, of the Muds, or whatever you want to call them. Because at this point, really, it's one army. That's it. It's one army in massive debt, I imagine. And I'd rather just have them under my control, since they basically are anyway. The faction only exists to follow my direct orders anyway, so, you know, fuck it. But yeah, so begins a very long stalemate, I fear. Is there anything going on down in the south that's worth mentioning? Not particularly, really. Yeah. The Tyrells have moved. They've taken Kingsgrave, I believe. And they're wiping out a bunch of other shit for the Yornwoods. The Yornwoods are dead, basically. There's not much we can do about that. But yes, due to this predicament that we now find ourselves in, I've sent the entire force of the Stormlands up to kick some Lannister ass. Which is like 2 stacks heading up there to protect the rest of them. So yes, fuck me, let's go to the next turn. This will be fun. Okay guys, we've got a little bit more defenses set up now. Our prince has moved up. We've got King Talon here with his best men up at the front line. These will be likely our 2 stacks that are going to defend against the king, if it comes to that. Put my force in there. Mud's defending all this, and I don't currently have anyone defending these forts, but these gentlemen will likely take over that task and probably camp around this general area here when the time comes for such action. Yeah, Aaron sent a war galley down to help deal with some fucking Dornish cunts who will likely be attacking me. Because I have an idea. We're going to use these forces here, since the Dornish are basically dead at this point, and we're not making much cash. I figured I may as well capitalize on the Dornish's misery and send a small scouting force of spearmen south into Dorne to sack some of the regions while the Dornish get their asses kicked over in this region. This place should be basically empty, so I'm going to go sack their castles and put an end to them, hopefully. Just because I need the gold. Nothing against the Dornish or the player, I just need the gold to fight Lannister right now. For the greater good, I must fuck up the Dornish, I'm afraid. That's just how we roll, man. I'm afraid, yeah. Oh well, next turn. Another Raven from Yornwood. I can't help you, dude. You're dead. I cannot make an enemy of Gardener just to help you. It's not happening. Your cause is already lost, mate. Before, yeah, so free to take it. I made sure to ask if Gardner was cool with me taking it. This is an interesting turn, by the way. Look, you can see here. Well, I'll send some troops over to show you, so it's a bit better. Look at these idiots. This idiot here is trying to counterfort me. Hence the new fort being placed right here. Now, if I hadn't placed this right here, this army would have magically come around and placed one there themselves, and then likely placed one there, cutting off all of my forces up here from this fort. Because that zone of control would cut right through there and join up with his forts there. So basically, this fort here would be killed. And I'd be down all those units. It would give him an advantage and would be a victory for him. So I've counterforted his counterforting by placing a counterfort to counter his counterforting. You see how fun our game of chess is, don't you? You want to be a part of this game of chess, don't you? Well, you can't! But be fucking grateful for it. It's boring as hell. Anyway, our scouting force is going south, and there is fuck all else to report on. Basically, we're just in a skirmish right now, and the Tyrells are slowly pushing in, or Gardeners, whatever you want to call them. Yep, Dawn should be fucked relatively quickly, and then he can turn his attention to the Lannisters and turn the tide of this war, hopefully. Basically, my entire goal right now is to hold the Lannisters off for as long as possible until the Reachmen arrive.
Yes? God be with
I've got another half of a stack of Muds as well that I found that were hiding in the Reach that will move up and help out in Hammerhall. They're actually going to move up and help in the Vale against any possible attack from the Green Fork, I believe. Anyway, we'll go next turn. Yeah, I believe I offered gold or military assistance to the Gardeners. But, yeah, Yorn was lost. He'd lost the moment Gardner declared war on him, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, Renly here is going to guard these forts here and Storm Guard as well, so you can stay in these trees around here. Like I said, the Mud Forces will go defend the Vale. Glover here will likely fort here and just be extra forces to scare the Lannisters and prevent them, or at least sort of make them think twice about attacking, hopefully. Nothing much else going on down here. I've laid siege to the fort for some added income. And, yeah, the Dornish days are numbered, but thankfully laying siege to the fort should get me back into the green, money-wise. Nothing else to report. That's about it. Right now, we're just pretty much the entire hot seat rests on, I believe I've said this before, actually, on Gardener joining me, like he said he was going to, like, turn 1, I believe he sent me a message. But yeah, the entire thing rests on him joining me and moving north to fight the Lannisters. I have told him, and I've sworn on my honour and whatnot. Like I said, stark to my friends, bold to my enemies. I am actually honourable and loyal to my allies when they deserve it of it. And when I give my word. In writing. But, yeah. I've given my word that he can have all of the Westerlands. I don't give a shit about any of it. All I want is the Lannisters dead. He can have all of the Westerlands for all I care. All I want is the Southern Reach, and Arryn gets the North Reach and the Iron Isles. That's how I got the Arryns to join me in the first place. I said you can have Northern Reach, including Oldstone, which is a fortress in itself. And the Iron Isles will be his as well. And all I get is the Southern Riverlands, and I keep the Crown Lands, obviously. So yeah, so continues the stalemate. This is really starting to get boring. Well, guys, we are royally fucked. Lannister has just ended. He just killed the hot seat, basically. The hot seat's dead. Not literally dead, but it may as well be. Lannister has bent the knee to the Gardeners in trade for them attacking me. He either actually plans to be a vassal of the Gardeners, which doesn't strike me as Myth. Myth goes for number 1, not number 2. Myth wins. He doesn't settle for second place, so I'm not sure if that's that stupid. But at the same time, he's bent the knee. Basically, in order to defeat me, he's groveled to the other faction in the game and pretty much screwed me. Any chance of me winning now is completely and utterly lost, because there's no way I can defend against the might of the Casterly Rock and the might of Highgarden at the same fucking time. That's just it. I'm half tempted now just to talk with Arryn and say, yep, fuck it. And just escape into the Vale and block off everything. And just make a last fucking stand. To be honest, this really sucks. It's been a hell of a little standoff. And then he goes and does something like this and just sort of kills the hot seat. For me, really. I didn't think he did. I spoke to the Gardener player when he did it. I said, demand something drastic of him. Like, demand Lannisport. He said that he can have Lannisport and a bunch of, like, half of his fucking regions in the west. I think he's given him Craigcall, Silverhill, Lannisport, and Hornvale or some shit like that. All in trade for him bending the knee and basically him killing me. And letting him, you know... He's killed us, basically. By groveling to the south. He's just, yeah. I don't imagine for a second he'd remain loyal. He'd wipe us out. He'd take all of the Vale, most of the Crown Lands, secure his forces, and then he'd probably attack the Gardeners as well. But oh well. Great. Yeah, we'll just hold off for as long as possible, I suppose. Hey guys, it's turn 19. We skipped turn 18 because I couldn't find the save anywhere to load it. I mean, I must have deleted it after I uploaded it to the site, and I couldn't find it anyway. It's lost. So yeah, we've got turn 19. Nothing happened in 18, so I didn't bother worrying about it too much. Yeah, Yornwood is dead. Every region in the Stormlands has now fallen to me, basically. We'll take that next turn and get some more cash. And that should fall next turn as well. And that should be the end of it, wiping out that mud force before it can do any real damage to Blackhaven or anything else. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And our fleet's returning home now as well. which will hopefully pick up some troops and take Driftmark and Dragonstone eventually. But yes, you're wondering why I'm not bitching and moaning about the previous turn where Lannister bent the knee like a bitch. You heard me, Myth. It was a shitty move to do, dude. It was a fucking shitty move and you know it. He changed his mind. He bent the knee, promised to give Gardner all of that stuff in return for Gardner attacking me, and then he changed his mind because he knew how much of a douche move it was. Basically ending the hot seat for me. And him, really. That was it. He bends the knee to Gardner, and that's it. There's no chance in hell that I had of ever winning against those two forces combined. That would just be game over, pretty much. We may as well have just ended the fucking hot seat, pretty much. But thankfully, he saw the error of his ways and realized that it was an incredibly douchey fucking move. It was an incredibly douchey move. Seriously, if you're watching this. Horrible move. My heart sunk when I heard that you'd done that. I was like, what? Why? Why would you do this? It's just such a shitty way of winning. Ah, you suck. Although I probably could have done some decently fun RP if I'd just ran into the Vale and hid. Just like survived for as long as possible. Anyway, yeah, we're controlling Mud directly now under us, which is what we did during turn 18. We've pushed against the Stormlords around, not the Stormlords, Lannisters around here and beaten them back. They actually attacked us. These are originally Lannister fortifications here. And we killed about half a stack of Lannisters when they attempted to invade the Vale. So yeah, that was the first little victory. A bit of payback from the River Lords getting some lion skin, I suppose. But yeah, other than all that bullshit, nothing else to fucking show you this turn, guys. Alright, let's see what fucking happens next turn. We might actually see some action for once. Okay, Myth has sent me a message. I do not read fucking whatever the hell that is. Is that supposed to be translation? Is it Dev comes to us all, Valor Morgulis. Regards. By the way, could you say... okay. Bump, bump, sugar lump, bump. Rump. Is that some fucking My Little Pony thing? He's a brony, and he just posts pony shit in every single one of his damn posts. I very much... There you go. You owe me one. I said it. Bump, bump, sugar lump, rump. I've said it twice. You owe me 2 times, bitch. Myth claims he's taken the Eyrie. He has, yes. He's a bitch. As for Yornwood, he should have been destroyed. But as vengeance for me subbing Mud, which Myth and Lannister thought it was really evil and stupid of me to be controlling Mud for some reason. The reason being that it gives me an advantage over him. He's now controlling Yornwood and has given Yornwood some lands in the middle of the Westerlands, I assume. And now he's taken Stonehelm and Thingy. I've told the Gardeners to chase him and take back my lands, and ironically, in doing all of this, all of the money that I have gained from ransacking the Dornish regions is now being put into the defense of the Stormlands, recruiting about an entire full stack to repel the Yornwoods so that they don't get any further than Mistwood and Stonehelm. So hopefully we'll be able to defend ourselves against them, because we'll be recruiting about a full fucking stack now. And yeah, meanwhile, up in the Vale, this fortification here was bribed by the Lannister diplomats and the Lannisters' just vast, endless amounts of wealth that they have laying around the place. They literally sleep on their gold at this point. They are dragons hoarding wealth. And yeah, the Eyrie was empty, so when he bribed the fortification, he had just got some troops in the doing, and then just walked right into the Eyrie and took it. And now he's holding the Eyrie. But the Mud forces and our guys are pushing on the fortification, and we'll push up to the Eyrie to reclaim it as we speak. And the Arryns have more forces up at the Coldwater as well, heading down to attack the Eyrie from the north. So he's taken the Eyrie, but we'll get it back relatively soon. In theory. At this point, I have no idea what the hell's going on. Anything could fucking happen, alright? Victory, ladies and gentlemen! Albeit, victory using some very dirty and possibly slightly very illegal moves. I don't think they're illegal, but they are incredibly, incredibly dirty. I will give you that, Myth. If you're watching this, I seriously, we've spoke about this in length now. The move is horribly dirty. Horribly, 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 horribly evil and dirty. and probably a slight abuse of the game's terrible mechanics. But I wanted you dead. Seriously. I can't show you because I don't have the save. But basically, the Lannister forces finally got bored of attacking me and laid siege to the King Talon's forces. So, what I did is I sallied out of my fortification here, which Damian Rain is in at the moment. I sallied out and attacked one of the laying siege forces that was laying siege to Talon. This fort here. And that fort, in the defeat that I got when I sallied out, that army under Rain got dragged into the fort, making him out of the zone of control of this fort, which allowed me, and basically I removed one stack from his army by dragging him into this fortification here, and that allowed me to defeat and kill his king, his prince, and basically every other decent one of his generals other than Rain. Unfortunately, that move I did where I dragged his army into this fort was the very legal, but, well, not very legal, slightly illegal, but incredibly dirty, and I don't recommend any of you ever do it. Because this move destroyed the entire hot seat. The hot seat's dead. The hot seat's over, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone has left. Everyone has quit. And just called game over. GG. This is because before I did the move, hence it being very dirty and everything, I contacted the admin to ask him if it was allowed or not. It was a long shot. I didn't know if he'd accept it. I didn't know if he'd think that it was very dirty or too dirty. We're saying dirty a lot and it's making me feel dirty. But at any rate, I asked the admin if it was allowed. He said it was allowed, so I did the move, quite happy in my glee at getting to slaughter the Lannisters. I was like, yes! I get to do it! It will make Myth cry! At the same time, in the back of my head, I was thinking, Myth is never going to accept this. He's going to cause a shitstorm in the threads, and is just not going to do anything until he gets his way. And that's exactly what happened. The admin said yes, Myth said no. The admin said, I said yes, and Myth said, I don't give a shit, I said no. And it just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as we went discussing whether or not it was illegal, and whether or not it should be illegal. Bottom line is, he refused to listen to the admin, and it just got really fucking drama and whatnot. I can't do that drama thing properly, can I? Anyway. Yeah, long story short, we gave up. we gave up. After all the stress and all the drama and all the shit, it was just, fuck it. Let's end. End the game. Fuck it. It's over, really, at this point. But yeah, the hot seat's over. I had some it was a really good hot seat, despite all the drama at the end of it. Which was quite funny now, looking back on it. But yeah, the hot seat's over, officially. But rather than, since I've enjoyed this series so much, and I wanted to finish it on a better note than just the hot seat ended, we're going to get the admin password for this hot seat, and we're going to turn Lannister AI, and we're going to take direct control of Aaron and Gardner, and what we're going to do is basically destroy Lannister as a final fuck you to Myth. Your beloved faction is going to die, Myth. It will be under the control of the AI, but you're still going to die. That rhymed, and made it just that much awesome. But yeah, from now on, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's playing this game except for me, just because of my own ego and my desire to kill as many Lannisters as possible by the time we finish this series. So yes, I hope you stick around. It's not technically a hot seat anymore, it's just me killing the AI and wrapping up the hot seat in a nice little decorative Storm King bow with a I won sticker on it. I didn't really. It was even. It was a draw, basically. Although Myth probably would have beaten me. If I didn't pull off this move, he would have killed my king, at the very least, and killed the Aaron King, and forced me to just go into another stalemate at Harrenhal, which would have lasted for another fucking 10 turns. Which would have been really goddamn boring. Basically, again, the entire hot seat, like for the last 10 turns, rested in the hands of the gardeners, who, going by the fact that they're rallying their troops around the general area around here, I assume that they have been loyal to me and my allies for the entire hot seat, assuming it, at least, that they were going to be joining me. In which case, we had a solid chance of winning, even if I couldn't pull the move that I pulled, I suppose. Even if I didn't pull the move that I pulled, I suppose, I would have just pulled back into another stalemate for another couple of turns until the Reachmen attacked the Westerlands from the south, causing Myth to be surrounded on both sides, basically. And eventually, he would have lost. At least that's the hope, anyway. Well, he would have, basically, if Gardner joined the war, just like if Gardner attacked me. If Gardner attacked Myth, he'd be fucked. And if Gardner attacked me, I'd be fucked. Although Myth's got a lot more fucking cash and power than I do, and would probably last a bit longer than I would if Gardner attacked me. Because I just focus entirely everything on him. But anyway, guys, I'll stop rambling. The hot seat is over, but we will continue against the AI just to wrap up the thing in a nice little bow. That is all for now, and we'll go to the next turn and kick some ass. Okay, guys, we're fighting against the AI, so we can just basically kick the living shit out of them without having to worry too much about anything. Literally, compared to real players, this is just shit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have skipped ahead and all of our shit is done. We've done Fog of War, so you can see the entire map. The Gardeners control all of Dawn, all of the Reach, and all of the West. They are basically the most powerful kingdom in Westeros. Although, you know, we're strong enough to put up a fight if it came to it, but I doubt we'd win. We'd, of course, need the support of the Arryns in that fight as well. I sort of count the Dondarrions and the Arryns kingdoms as the kingdoms, you know, as one big kingdom itself, rather than as two separate ones. But yeah, the Arryns control the north of the Riverlands, all of the Iron Isles, and the Vale. And there's whispers that they're planning to invade the north as well pretty soon. The River Lords are alive and well. Their houses are growing back and resupplying and rebuilding after their losses during the war against the Lannisters. But Riverrun and Raventree, theirs slowly will start handing off more and more land to them, and they'll regain mostly control over the northern. They'll gain Fairmarket and Acorn's Hall mostly, because I do believe Fairmarket just to give them a bit of income and more land when we trust them a little bit more. And Acorn Hall because there's actually a Bracken that has come of age. So he has claim to that land I'll give them. Basically just giving the generals that come of age and show up that are still alive for the Tullys and the River Lords their lands that they own kind of thing. As promised to them when they joined us. But yeah, there are bannermen pretty much. Hammerhall has been improved greatly since the conquest. Of late, actually, I've married off one of my daughters to Lord Dondarrion's eldest son in order to strengthen that tie there. Simon Dondarrion, or not Dondarrion, Durrandon, or Durrandon, yeah, whatever, is age 5. Eldest daughter is 8, and youngest daughter, Shireen Dondarrion, is 1. Overall, all looks good. Dragonstone is ours. The Bay, Blackwater Bay is secured. Duskendale is like a really, really big city now. That's hyped up. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Like I said, peace has reigned over Westeros, and ideally this is how I wanted the hot seat to end, but unfortunately that's not how it ended. But for lore and RP sake, we'll say this is how the end game looked. At least in my mind. Assuming, of course, that the Gardeners were indeed planning on sticking with their idea of alliance, which I hope and I think and believe that they were. I'll actually probably bug Duck and ask him later on if he was actually going to be joining me or not. If not, then the Gardeners would have attacked me and I would have lost the Stormlands, but I would have just focused entirely on keeping the Lannisters busy and placed every single one of my chips on the Gardeners beating the Lannisters in a giant 1v1. And just pretty much, I probably would have bent a knee if he took the Stormlands. I would have offered to bend a knee. Because my only goal at that point was not letting the Lannisters win. I didn't care about winning myself. Certainly not. And Duck would certainly be declared the winner of this hot seat at the end of the day. As the most powerful faction that would be left in the game. And I have no problem with being second place myself. My one goal was defeating the Lannisters. And I don't care how the hell I got there. So yeah, that's all for now, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this hot seat. It was being quite the challenge, despite all the drama that I had at the very end of it when it ended. It was a challenge at times and quite interesting. So yeah, there were some pretty decent moves. Some moves that annoyed me. You know, that's what happens when you face experienced players. But overall, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. That's all for now. I shall see you guys in another hot seat. As always, hot seats have no schedule, so don't bother asking me when the next one's going to be. I have no idea. Could be a month, could be a year. Who the hell knows? I'm cutting down a lot on hot seating lately, so there will be less hot seats less frequently, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough time to do my channel, my actual real work, which is like real life outside of YouTube work that I'm right to do, because that YouTube alone does not pay the fucking bills, ladies and gentlemen. But yes. Hopefully I'll get out as many hot seats as I can, but I promise nothing in that regard. Thank you for watching. That is all for now. Soul out.